It's that time again for the best damn opening in Facebook and YouTube live history. You know it's true because it came out of my face. Let's go! No, I've always got something to be excited about with R8RBEAR every time. Off season, on season, same thing, always ready, bear. Woo! That fool with no hair that shouts like Ric Flair. Woo! The R8RBEAR. So what's up, fam? Welcome to the show. Appreciate you all tuning in. But first, oh wait, no, not first, second, third, maybe fourth. Okay, wait. Ooh. Daddy's still kicking off the rust. Tradish! R8RBEAR Live. First comment. MVP tonight goes to the reigning, defending heavyweight champion of the world, Mark. That 5-emoji making son of a gun, Vargas! What's up, man? Welcome to the show. Always there for R8RBEAR. Appreciate you, champ. And clear and far and away the #1 guy today. I mean, you had the position on lockdown. I think you had like the first 14 comments. Second place, my silver medal goes to Downboy Roof S.A. Big Dog Sub D. Welcome to the show. Always there for R8RBEAR. Look, clean up your mess this time before you go. No arguments. Okay, I provide the dog walk. I don't clean it. Third place, my bronze medal goes to Mike Can-Do Henderson. What's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Always there for R8RBEAR. Working that fire button. I appreciate the love. Let me put that up there. Bam. Honorable mention to my guy, John the Lion Leon. What's up, brother? Like clockwork. The gold medalist tonight, numero uno, El Jefe, the champ, he who remains, Carlos Boykins. Like Thanos, all he's got to do is snap his fingers, and then the rest of you just blow away. Second place, my silver medal goes to one of my favorite people, Lucky Pace. Reigniting the rivalry. That's not quite a rivalry yet. Too much domination on the other side. But goodness gracious, are you close, Lucky? I never really ever do this to a man, but just in this instance. Third place, my bronze medal goes to my latest head of security. I fired the rest and hired the best. Handsome Joe Holman. What's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Always there for R8RBEAR because he's paid to. And that other guy, Rico, you just hired to watch the back doors for us. You need to talk to him. Keep him off his phone. Talking all to the senoritas. I caught him more than once. I don't know. Okay. Woo. Had to get some gas in me. Mwah. So let's get to it. I just want to say hi to everyone else real quick. Oh, my good friend Bob Standard's in the house. What's up, brother? Bear! Hi, Casey. Hi to the kitties. I can't remember the cats' names. Bob, don't write the cats' names. That would be embarrassing. Don't do that. No man should write cat names. Dog names, okay, but not cat names. It's not manly and stuff. Mike! Where's my bell? Mike Henderson! And remember, when you hear that bell, that is our way of letting all of you know that someone on the show has contributed stars, and we really appreciate it. And I always shout you out because I appreciate the stars. Also, I just want to take this moment, too, to remind all of you, if you're watching on YouTube, please like the show, or you may never see me in your algorithm again, because these algorithms are getting real stingy and real, well, not stingy, but specific. You know what I mean? It wants to give you what it thinks you want. And so the AI in that way keeps curtailing it. So the more you hit like, the more you see my handsome face. And that's only if you agree with the handsome face part. If you don't, then you don't have to like me. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Have you guys heard that song? It's actually pretty funny. Tom Shepard, what's up, brother? Bear! I love you guys. Erman Jr., what's up, man? Welcome to the show. Wait. Bear! Hey, my voice is great. I had a couple nights off. I had a great weekend. So, Arthur Munoz, how you doing, man? Welcome to the show from Vegas. Appreciate the love. Kirk Mangum said, no to Ruggs, but we wish him the best. You know, Kurt, that's a great profile picture, brother. You guys look beautiful. I got to say this to you. First, welcome to the show. Second, answering your question, I completely agree with you, and it has nothing to do with talent. I just think that when you remake yourself from tragedy, you got to go somewhere else. Because now I want to make an argument for Kirk to the rest of my audience. Okay, so feel this one for a second. If the Raiders said, yeah, okay, Henry Ruggs, come on, join the team again. The spotlight on him and every inch he makes and every comment, everything he says and does will be under a microscope. Whereas if he went to the Cardinals, right, it's just a one-day story. Oh, look, he signed with the Cardinals, and that's it. But if he's with us, you give people like me, the reporters, you give me things I can write just about Henry Ruggs. Go to camp, how is he doing? Go to the next camp. Was he running as fast? Does he look good getting in and out of his routes? And suddenly he's drawing attention away from everyone else on the team. None of them are going to like that, And then what if he does badly? Now the reporters go, how could they believe in him a second time after what he did? He killed a young lady. How could they let him back? You see what I mean? And if he doesn't achieve, and I mean really achieve, because anything less than like a Pro Bowler would look like a failure. Now he's just another guy in the league. What happened? He looked like he was on pace to be a Hall of Famer. And they'll keep stretching it just so they can keep talking about it. But that's what would happen. Whereas if he's on another football team, it's a day story. It's a one-day story. You know what I mean? Like, for example, if he ended up on a team and whoever that team was, let's say it's the Green Bay Packers, and then the Green Bay Packers come to Vegas to play us, then it's a story again for one more night because he's visiting the team where all the tragedy happened. And Henry Ruggs will hate it because they're going to go over the whole thing again and play the police report footage and all that stuff, you know what I mean? And try to make him look terrible again, but there's a lot of precedence to just letting it go. You know what I mean? The NFL's had 4 or 5 guys in DUIs where people were killed and, they got, probation, most of them, or a year or 2 in jail, and that's it. And so John Rogers Jr., what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Please support the bear. No. And not my love for pickles. See, now I regret putting that up, Bob. That was Casey, huh? She grabbed your phone, huh? Tim, what's up, brother? Hi, Peggy. Hi, Bear. This is your favorite and most honest Steeler fan. Airhead Rogers is playing his stupid games again. To use your words, putting foots in them. I put foots in fools. If you're new to the show, that's what I do. Put foots in them. Because doesn't that sound painful? It's one thing to like kick a guy in the butt, but not if you do it with both feet. You're just like doing a wrestling like drop kick. You have to leap in the air and That's how I do it. Honestly, Peggy, I hate to say this, but he is what he is. His own family hates him. When you find anyone in any walk of life and their parents hate their child, not dislike, okay, not disowned, hate. When the parents hate their own son, there's something there. Now, we may not be like all up in the middle of Aaron Rodgers' life, but we don't need to be. His brother, his younger brother hates his guts. His mother and father hate his guts for what happened when his mother and father used to live in Paradise, California. And then there was fires in Paradise that were massive, and it destroyed almost every home in Paradise. And he never once picked up the phone to check and see how his parents were. And he has their number. The parents have never blocked his phone. You know what I mean? And he never called to see how they were doing in the fire. Even though his home that his parents lived in was burning down, he didn't call to check to see how they were. You had that guy. The Steelers franchise is permanently stained. Tim, I apologize for giving it to Peggy like that. I apologize. No, I don't. I take that. No, I shouldn't lie to you. I shouldn't lie to you. I don't feel bad about that at all. Okay, moving on. Yes, Ruggs served his time, unlike Leonard Little and Dante Stallworth. Yeah, they got slaps on the wrist, especially Dante Stallworth. That was crazy. And if I remember correctly, Lucky, wasn't Leon Little a repeat offender? Like he did it again after the fact? Armando Medrano. That's my guy right there. One of my favorite last names. What's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Kirk Mangum, how you doing? 100, he totally agrees. Naked Raider in the house. Everyone cover your eyes. What's up, Michael Guerrero? Two Stein. 2G Stein. What's up, brother? Are you the type of person that doesn't rewind the VHS before returning it? In the 90s. Yeah. 85, somewhere in there. I was a Blockbuster video guy, Hollywood. Oh, God. I can't remember the name, and I actually worked there at one point. Hollywood Video, yeah. David Sotelo, what's up, brother? All the way out there. What's that again? Bullhead, Arizona. Appreciate you, brother. My neighbor. Miguel Garcia, 559 in the house. Kurt Mangum, over or under 8 wins this season. Kirk, we were optimistic about last year, and that kind of came undone. So I'm going to be kind of careful this year. I'm going to say let me keep looking at this. I'm still going to answer your question, but then as we get to the draft, I'm going to answer it again because I'm going to base a lot of this on how we behave in the draft. See, for example, like there are people who are really on board with, hey, trade down a lot, bring in just a haul of guys, and then see which ones of those guys can make the team. And then maybe you have a greater likelihood of hitting on more guys that are talented and maybe even a star amongst the pack or two, depending on how good a scout we are in the scouting system we have. I would say this to that. It's super, super risky. I would rather always take the best player at their position at the time they're available, unless I've scouted that player and don't like that player. Or maybe I think the player is undersized for the position we're looking at, that kind of thing. Then maybe I look at the next best player that's still on the board, that kind of thing. Not to be an insult to that guy, but even though he may be ranked higher, we may not see him as a good fit as a pro. Because remember, that's a big part of the job. What they've done in college is just a dress rehearsal. After that, you're looking at their measurables to see if you can equate that working in the NFL. because everyone in the NCAAs is just a flower. Okay, but when they get to the NFL, they blossom or they don't. And you get rid of the don'ts and you keep the do's. That was a visual description for anyone that had a baby in the room. Oh, I didn't say. Kirk, I'm going to say I'm not with you on 8 games. Not with you. I'm thinking for right now, if the season started right now, 7 wins. I'd say 7. Remember, guys get hurt. You know, you can't just think about the pieces we have and how it's built right now. You know, guys are going to get hurt. You know, we'll lose someone mid-year, things like that. You know, are we still going to have to protect the quarterback issues? And if so, does that get Kirk Cousins banged up to where now we get forced to move Mendoza in? And you know what I mean? There's a lot of landmines in the decision right now. So give me a little bit more time, because I think it's obvious that Kirk Cousins is going to start. That's why he was brought in. Anna Diaz Rincon. What's up, girl? Welcome to the show. Always there for a Raider Bear. My first supporter ever. Tanamoku asks, there are 2 Raiders draft parties at the Palm Casino in Vegas on the 23rd. One for ticket holders and one for everyone else. Okay, just getting everyone caught up. I like that. Ramiro Cashflow Castro. What's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Kenny Blair. All the way over an ocean in the land of whiskey and crumpets, where they can appreciate a mustache like this. What's up, brother? Welcome to the show. We're drafting the Cal version of Mendoza. Indiana had elite, mature talent around him. We got Northwestern of the NFL talent on the offense. I want to see more before I go that far in with you, Lucky. I mean, because you know we're gonna have leverage with draft picks to bring in guys. We're gonna be able to trade. You know, we've got a lot of cap space. You know, and so the cap space is kind of shook since we had to bring back Max Crosby, but outside of that. Nicely done, Anna. Always has her tickets ready to go. All right, so let's move on. I don't know how everybody feels about this, but mentoring, the idea of mentor for our guy Mendoza is going to be Rich Gannon. Now, I like Rich Gannon. Obviously, I liked his time as a Raider. I thought he was a great pro, all that stuff. But sometimes, Magic Johnson, a pro doesn't translate from being a player and having that great mind to then coming to the NBA or the NCAAs of basketball and having success. It's difficult because no matter how good you may have been as a player, there's aspects to coaching that you kind of have to have or have taught to you before you can go out there and say, hey, I'm the head coach. The way I say goes, I'm going to make this row raft, this raft row. Say it backwards. Okay, and then I want to go back to one more time, Lucky Pace, to what you were saying earlier. The only reason I'm really, and I know you heard me, but I'm just saying, I just want to say this again because I just think it's a finite point. And if you disagree with it, that's cool. Tell me in another comment. But if you get what I'm saying, you get what I'm saying. But we'll see. But I just think that everywhere would be better than the Raiders. I love the talent. I still think he would be a great help to us. We need a wide receiver. But if he comes to us, the story doesn't die. You know what I mean? They're not going to just let the story go away. Everywhere he goes, every weekend, the story's going to follow him on the road with us. And they're going to mention, oh, I remember the story in the news, Henry Ruggs, and the success story. He made it back to his original team. It'll sound good, week 1. But you got to understand, too, there's going to be Raider fans that aren't happy with that. There's going to be Raider fans that aren't happy with that, and they're going to have a loud voice. Because remember, this has to do with alcohol, drunk driving, death. I mean, we have Raider Nation fans that have had this experience with brothers, mothers, sisters, and cousins, and they're not going to like looking at that and seeing that happen, and they're going to get their voice out there about it. Yo, Bear. Okay, come on. I got to say that. Phil Niku Fessin 100 iffy. And I know iffy at the end is probably an abbreviation for something. I don't know what it is. I'm just, if that's makes me a boomer or not cool, so be it. Got mine for the public at Ghost Bar. Nice. Tanamoku. Joe Holman, Vegas has us at 4.5 wins, and I think it's even money. I'm probably going to throw $1,000 at that. Yeah. I don't see 4 wins. I see better than that. I don't see 4 wins. I think we'll be better than that. I think just with the offense that our new coach is bringing in, I think his new offense is going to win it. I would say at least 3 games. Just on his offense alone. In other words, there's going to probably be at least 3 games that we win 31-27, where we're the one with 31. They got 27. They didn't destroy our defense, but they were out there balling, and we won because our offense kept rolling. I think we're going to have a couple of games like that now with this guy. Because to be honest with you, Kubiak knows that's what everyone's looking at him for. Everyone's looking for him to go out there and put his stamp on things. Even if he goes out there and he puts his stamp on the offense and the defense sucks, they'll still forgive us as Raiders because we're scoring. We're scoring, you know what I mean? And then we'll just, be like, come on, defense, but you're always that way anyway. Whether the defense is good or bad, you root for the defense. Whereas when it's the offense, if they don't play well, you get pissed. That was a terrible excuse. All Raider fans get mad when the defense sucks. I'm just kidding. No, I'm out. Out of the dark stuff. Many are still looking for tickets. Oh, wow. Kirk, I feel like we could use more D-line help, maybe another defensive tackle signing after the draft. I can't remember this kid's name. I might have it here because it was in what was it? Okay, here we go. Where did I have that? Yeah, a big defensive tackle named Jonah Lalu. Jonah Lalu. I'm just gonna say Lalu. That sounds better because I know I'm butchering it one way or the other. I don't know. Let me go back to you here. Yeah, big guy, experienced. We could put it defensive tackle, but there was one guy coming out of school. They were looking at. No, that's the safety. They were talking about the Arizona safety too, Genesis Smith. I was looking at that. No, where'd it go? That's offensive line. No. Oh, that might have been the guy. I guess Spytek's been looking at someone that's coming out of the college ranks and thinks we can get him on day 2, if I'm not mistaken. Big guy. He's supposed to be like 6'5", 6'6", 300 pounds. Real run stuffer. Well, I'm not seeing his name, but I'll get it and I'll bring it back on with me so we can finish that conversation. But because you weren't asking me that anyway, but I think they're going to go defensive tackle hard. Now, what do I mean by hard? I mean, they'll get someone in the draft. They'll get someone in free agency, and then we'll probably look in the roster. So there'll be 3 different venues for us to try to shore that up. 2 of which will have new players attached or trades. I could see a situation where we get better on the defensive line before the offensive line just because it needs more continuity, working together, that kind of thing. But I think it's going to be there. Ruggs did the time. I would give him a chance. Daniel Hebenstrike. I think I say his name better than he does. I love the German names. They're so cool. Okay, now having said that, Daniel, I don't think the Raiders are going to bring him back. I don't think they want that story reoccurring over and over and over again, where you only hear it once if he goes to any other team. I just think that he'd be better off that way. A couple of you have said let things lie. He did his time. Let's let him play. I'm not against that in any way. The only thing I'm trying to say, make the Raiders great again. The only thing I'm trying to say is I don't think the fans will really give him a chance. We're going to have a sort of fan civil war. I mean, think about, like, for example, what if they said they were going to bring back Derek Carr, right, as the veteran quarterback to be in there for one season, and we haven't talked to Kirk Cousins yet, okay? If they said they're bringing in Derek Carr, half of Raider Nation would lose their flipping minds. That we're bringing that guy back, the guy we gave 9 years to. We love him, respect him, tough guy, smart, looked great for us as far as PR relations and stuff like that. Great dude. But no. There'll be no more of that. And by the way, can I just say, I'm all on board with the Kirk Cousins thing, man. I'm all on board. Now, why is sometimes things just a good? Why are some things sometimes just a great fit? Here's why. Because Kubiak wants a quarterback that's smart and can deliver the ball quickly. He doesn't need a guy that's 6'5" and can throw the ball over the top of everybody. He needs a guy who can find his receivers and hit them on time. And I think Kirk Cousins has proved over the length of his career that he's that guy. Now, he's not a deep ball thrower, in my opinion. Not that he can't do it. It's just not very good. When you're not very strong at the deep ball, your ball tends to hang in the air longer because you tend to throw the ball a little higher when you try to put the most you can put on a ball. So I don't want him throwing jump balls, no matter how talented he is, even one-on-one with a receiver and our defensive back. I don't want jump balls. I want him to put it where the receiver's supposed to get it. So I like the idea of Kubiak's offense. And then if we want to go over the top, do that with Dante Thornton. But as far as Ruggs, I don't want Ruggs to become the story of the season. Not when we're trying to do everything new. We're making this big, attempt to make a real change on the roster, the coach, and, bring in new talent, get Max Crosby back. How we got him back is irrelevant. He's back. He's that talented dude. And then you have Kwity Paye now on the right side of him. He's got two better young linebackers, both from Georgia. They already know and played together, so there's going to be chemistry in the middle linebacker position from day one. Okay, and then you brought back Eric Stokes, our solid corner. Now we just have to, maybe I still like Blue Kelly. I don't know. Maybe he makes that other side of the defense at defensive back, but. Oh, okay. Tanamoku, letting everybody know there's only so many tickets left, so better hurry up. I'd rather have a defensive end, but if there's a monster defensive tackle available, I'll take that. Well, remember, Joe, I know you know this, but we got Kwity Paye. You know what I mean? He's no slouch. I wasn't trying to make it sound like Pity Quay, is, poor man's whatever. I think Kwity Paye can be good for us. I think it might not look good at first because we're so used to Max Crosby's motor just constantly, every single, play, he's a Tasmanian devil. That's not what Kwity Paye is. He's good. He's big and he's strong, but I don't think he's an every down, kill myself to make a play kind of guy. And now I want him to prove me wrong, and we'll see. I hope he proves me wrong because that would be fantastic if he did, because it would be shoring up a problem we've had for far too long. Okay. Let me see. Oh, I think I found the guy. I think I did. Yes. Okay. The Raiders apparently are all about Xavier Harris. Okay. He's from Ole Miss. Xavier Harris. Look him up. Defensive tackle, big bruiser. They're all excited about him. They think he can make it to an early second round pick. I happen to agree with that. I think if we do that, that would be brilliant. Then you got your number one pick short up. You got the quarterback you wanted. Okay. And then bang, after that, you get the run stopper that you wanted. I mean, how are you going to do better than that? I mean, if we get that quarterback, get that run stopper, now you have all these other picks to shore up wide receiver, you know what I mean, offensive line. That'd be beautiful. Let's see. It cannot be as bad as last season, that's for sure. Got to agree there. Kirk said Derek wanted to come back to play for us so bad. Not only that, Kirk Mangum, he tried to make it sound at the last minute like he was trying to come back as a quarterback's coach. No. There was already sources within the building in Las Vegas who were basically saying, no, Derek came back for a job. And I mean a job, you know what I mean, on the field. Honestly, I want to be clear about this. I'm only making jokes because that's what I do. This is my kind of show. That's what I do. If Derek Carr had really come back, I wouldn't have poo-pooed that. You know what I mean? I may not have agreed with it, but I would have been on board with it. He is a veteran. He's only really been off the roster for a year or so. That's not a bad thing. That's usually a good thing because it heals the body up 100%. You start feeling better. And right now, he probably feels better than he's felt in a decade. And he's still strong. He's still young because these guys, they're out of football before they're 40. You know what I mean? And you're still really young. You got all this money, young wife and a kid and all that stuff. His life's done. I mean, it's already made. And he's like an old man now in his 40s. And that's how he feels. And there's only so much golfing and buying cars you can do before it starts to get boring too. Why can't we be just as good as the Patriots were last year, turning things around? The Chiefs. Bill, there's no reason why we can't do that. It's just something that people like myself don't like to try to predict because you look like a doofus if you say, yeah, we're going to be way better. We're going to turn things around. We're going to make the playoffs. I mean, if I see that, I'm going to say that. But I would say this to you. Signing Kubiak to me looked really smart. Okay, young, good offense, won a Super Bowl ring. He's going to command respect now from the moment he walks in the room. And it's not the normal respect. See, remember, we gave Pete Carroll respect because he had a ring, but he had an old ring and an old dude wearing it. This is a young offensive creator who just won. And now he can literally walk into the room and go, you guys want to go get one of these? I can show you how. And right when he says that, you have to believe him. You have to. He did it. You know what I mean? And so now I would say to you, Bill, we're as likely to do it as any team to do it because he's done it. How's that for logic for you? Learned it at Harvard when I was there. For 5 minutes driving past. I had to flip a Yui. Yo, Bear, it's Jim Garrison. What's up, Jim? I got it in late, and it wouldn't let me on Facebook tonight, so I'm jumping on through YouTube. Thank goodness for the YouTube. Who we taken in the second round, I'd pass on. Well, I mean, this guy, Dominic Orange, 6'2", 322 pounds. Oh, he's 6'2". I thought he was taller than that. And then there's also another kid named Xavier Harris. Big boy, defensive tackle. Could be a really good fit for us. And he likes the 3-4, so it could fit. I was wrong. I got the measurements backwards. I was right. Xavier Harris is 6'8", 330 pounds. Let's go. I'm bringing him in. I'm signing him because you can't teach size. You know what I mean? And at defensive tackle, sometimes all he's got to do is stand there. Just come out of your blocks, grab two dudes, and push two dudes. And then one of your teammates is going to get free and get there. You're going to clog the middle. Just clog the middle, grab that nose tackle in either the right guard or the left guard, and just push them into their quarterback. I'm on board. 6'8", 320. Excuse me, 6'8", 330. 330, 6'8. That's amazing, man. That a big boy. I feel the culture of the Raiders is changing for once. Bill, whenever you bring in a coach, the team changes. It's just, is it in a positive way? See, like, for example, when we got Josh whatever, McDaniels, we knew the culture was going the wrong way because he's a moron. And everyone in the league was saying he was a moron, including me. And everyone in the league that played for him was saying he's not head coach material, including me. Did I say I said that too before he even got to the Raiders facility? Yeah, I did. Xavier Harrison likes to beat up women, has charges against him. Tana, doggone it. I saw that on his show, Laugh Out Loud. He was legit trying so hard, bless his heart. Tana, someone's going to sign the guy. I don't know enough to speak on it. Was it just your typical, hey, you leave me alone. Hey, I leave you alone. You're a jerk. It's over. I don't want to be with you anymore. Blah, blah, blah. Well, police are called. Was it that, or was he like, really getting in on her? I mean, I got to know more. Who would you choose, Bear? Defense? Okay. Okay. Derek Carr or Kirko? I'm going Kirko. Now, with respect to Derek Carr, I've seen Derek Carr. When you ask me that question about anyone else that's healthy, competent, and experienced against Derek Carr, I'm not going to pick Derek Carr. And it's not because anyone you give me, they're all better than him. They're not. It's just that I know what Derek Carr is. We've all seen it. You know what Derek Carr is. He's a good little player who does not like to mess with his completion percentage, so he won't put the ball up deep unless everything's perfect or it's a Hail Mary to end the game, that kind of stuff. And, he's a little bit gun shy from injuries he's had. We know his whole history. So do I want him right now? No. But Kirk Cousins? Yeah. But is there some history about Kirk Cousins that doesn't look as good? Sure. There's been opportunities for him where he didn't get it done. There's been clutch moments for him where he didn't get it done, but there's also been a lot of clutch moments, where he did get it done and he did win big games and his team had faith in him, real truth in who he was. So now I don't think he's that far removed from that guy that he can't come with us and do his thing. Yeah, you were interested in Harris before you heard that. Yeah, I get that. See, I'm looking at him right now, and I'm seeing his numbers and whatnot, but they're not talking about the case against him, so I'll have to pull it up. I'd have to pull it up. I'm just making sure they don't have it here. Looking. No. They're keeping it football in this article I'm seeing, which actually that's kind of refreshing. But I'm sure I'll be able to find it. Okay. So anyway, about the whole thing too with Max Crosby, everyone's got to let that go. You got to let that go. There are people that are mad at Max Crosby. It makes no sense. Whether he asked for a trade or not, why would you be mad at him? He's given us the best. He's given us some of the best defensive end play throughout his career in all the NFL. And then he said, I want out. He did say that. Now, he said it privately. He didn't say it publicly, but I can tell you, I know beyond a shadow of a doubt, sources I have, he went to the front office and said, I want a trade. I'm not happy. And you don't want me to go out there and show people that I'm not happy. So they gave him what he wanted. But then the Ravens were probably the worst place he could land because their owner is known, literally known. That owner of the Ravens is whose name I will not say. But that owner is literally known for on 3 other occasions having deals done, shook hands, said thanks, see you next week. Whoops, deal's off. We just decided we don't like that deal. Sorry. And then they go over here and sign a deal with another team where they have to give up less, and they like that deal better, so they go with this deal, even though they've already agreed to this one. It's kind of an unwritten rule. There should be some kind of rule. They may work on that in the NFL's meetings, you know what I mean? But there should be a rule for that, because it made Max look bad. You know what I mean? When all he did was say, look, I want to play winning football. Can I go somewhere and play winning football? Because I can't get winning football here. He was mad. He was frustrated. I mean, does anyone really believe he didn't want to be a Raider? I don't believe that. I don't believe he didn't want to be a Raider. But I do believe that he didn't want to stay with any franchise that was going to wait for him until he gets an old man and he's gone to figure it out. And he can't get a shot at the playoffs. He can't get a shot at a Super Bowl ring. You know what I mean? And I like the competitive. Okay, sorry, my mic popped out for a second there. I like the competitiveness on Max Crosby's part, that he was willing to go if they weren't willing to say, hey, we're going, and then I thought they did, but I think he still saw Tom Brady and, you know what I mean, and Spytek still being there, and, a lot of Mark Davis, juggling balls again and trying to make him look over here while he's doing magic tricks. No. Whoa. Sorry, guys. And I just think that he didn't want to be a part of that kind of ride again. And now he's back because of the flim-flamming of the Ravens. So let's not get on Max. Let's not have, we're going to burn Max Jersey Day when, he was just doing what was best for his career. I'm sorry, Tim. I'm sorry I even said his name. Max is going to unleash hell on everyone he goes against. MVP type season because he's pissed. Yeah. I think he's mad, but more importantly, I think that you may get the best football of his career. Guys, I want to tell you, and this is just the God's honest truth. When you heard people talking about him missing a physical, that was all a lie. I repeat. When the Ravens said that Max Crosby failed a physical, that was a lie. Now, let me explain. They already knew that Max was coming off of a little surgery that he had to have on his knee, and he had a certain amount of weeks into that knee to where he was even walking comfortably, and then needed a few more weeks, and it was going to be 100%. They basically said that because he wasn't 100%, that they didn't know where that injury was going or what was going to happen with it, so we had to back out of the deal. Which is a complete lie, because the surgeon that they used for Max is known by the NFL and other teams as a legit surgeon, a legit guy. No scandals, no lies, no nothing with this guy. And he basically said that the doctor came out in the news because I think he didn't like the fact that Max was taking heat for this. And the doctor himself said, and I quote, Max is right on schedule. His knee is perfect. There is no interior damage. It is as if it is the same knee he had when he was a baby. There is no difference. They cleaned out some material. They sewed him up. Done. Ice and stem, few days, bang. He's up on his feet, able to walk around the facility at the Ravens, but he failed your physical. By the way, he was able to walk around the facility at the Ravens for 5 hours without meeting the head coach, without meeting the GM, without meeting the owner, without meeting the defensive coordinator, nobody. Max went there and basically was being ignored. So you say he's pissed? No. He's flipping furious. And I would be too. I would be too. And every time, he needs to make like a new touchdown dance or something. That means every time he scores or gets a sack, makes a great play, this is what you could have had, dummy. And God bless never hearing him say, let's go Flock Nation again. I shouldn't even tell you he said that because I know a lot of people didn't know he said that, but he did say that in his exit video. He at the very end he said, "Let's go Flock Nation." I thought that was dirty because he used the whole first half of the video to say goodbye to us. Do a different video for them. Don't leave off with, "Oh, and by the way, guys, Flock Nation." Felt like kind of a spit in the eye. I'm just saying. He'll tell you it wasn't, but I don't know. I think we're trying for Ben Johnson's last year, and when he took Chicago's head coaching job, we settled for old Pete Carroll. All of that's correct. But this is our year with Kubiak, number 1 pick, and good free agent signings. Let's go. Now, Efilin Aiku Fessin 100 iffy. I just wanted to do it one more time. That wasn't even an attempt. I just want to say it one more time. Everything you said in the beginning of your comments, correct, 100%. And I actually do believe that Kubiak's going to be a winner. I don't think there's any doubt Kubiak's going to be a winner. He's going to be a winner with us. I don't think there's any doubt about it. Now, could our franchise hold him back? It's possible, but I don't think Spytek and Tom. You remember Tom Brady, the guy that hijacked all the information about the Raiders and made the Raiders franchise all about him because he started talking about wanting to come out of retirement. That wasn't selfish at all. Drawing the spotlight off of your rebuilding team that are trying to come back and get something started, but let's make it about him. And by the way, none of us are dumb. Let's be honest. He knew that before he let it out that he was thinking about coming back again. He knew that would take the spotlight off the very team he's a minority owner of. Make that make sense. Arnie Garza, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Appreciate the love. Which new free agent player will be the bigger X factor on offense or defense? I would say offense because I think we're going to make a move for someone. I really do. I now when I say that, I mean obviously I'm being vague, but there's at least I'd say 3 wide receivers that are going to hit or have already hit the market that are very good. I don't need Dante Adams. It doesn't have to be that good, just good. You know what I mean? In fact, there are those that are whispering quietly that Kubiak might unlock Trey Tucker. Fingers crossed. Because, I mean, if he could do that, now you're freeing up Thornton to get his act together, Jack Besh, you know what I mean? Brock Bowers, who obviously he doesn't need any help. He can do it all by himself. Michael Mayer, they're all going to get more room to move. If he can unlock that little Minnie Mouse, I look at Trey Tucker, I think of Sonic the Hedgehog, I don't know why. It's just because he's blazing fast, I guess. But I just think if you got that guy rolling, that's another Sonic reference because Sonic rolled. I'm sorry. But if you get him, if you unlock Trey Tucker, that's it, man. They said Max was doing better than expected in the beginning. Why would people doubt that? Max is not G-string. Well, Anna, it's not that they doubted it. They used it as an excuse rather than to tell the truth that they just wanted the better deal. They were able to, once they got out of the Max Crosby deal, they were able to go and get Trey Hendrickson, who is the next best thing to a Max Crosby, and they got him for a lot less than number 1 overall picks. In fact, I don't think they gave up a single number 1 pick to get Trey Hendrickson. So, I mean, I could understand you wanting to pull out of a deal, but you're not supposed to do it. So don't agree with the Raiders until you've done your due diligence with these other teams. You started the conversation, then they get back to you and you dump on the Raiders and go with Trey Hendrickson. I just think, I don't know if it's happened or not, but I just think the league, they should punish. They really should. They've got to punish this guy. They need to fine the Ravens. I'd go even further because that's just money. I would sanction the Ravens. I really would. I would like I don't know. I would like what could you do to him though? That's beyond money. I don't know. Maybe the owner, maybe penalties on the owner. Oh, take draft picks. I'd take draft picks. I don't like that kind of flim-flammery. Okay, right there. Oh, hold on real quick. Okay. After love. I saw you what you were asking me about running backs. So I'm looking at them. I'm trying to see if they're because there was a guy I like, but now I'm trying to see where he is on the list. Because they have Love 8th overall amongst running backs coming out. They have Cam Cook, Ahmad Hardy, Kawan Lacey, Emmett Johnson, Caleb Hawkins. Heard a lot about him. Cy Bangura, never heard of that. Ohio. Oh, wow, I wonder why I haven't got it. Wayne Knight, and then Jeremiah Love, 8th. Well, LJ Martin of BYU. Wouldn't mind that. That's probably without question, maybe even a day 3 guy, day 2, day 3 guy. But also Cam Edwards, Connecticut. That's another one. Antoine Raymond, Rutgers. I'm giving you more than one name, but yeah, those are guys I would look at after Love. Maybe not in the second, though, probably the third. Because I think that it's too early to decide what Ashton Genty is. Ashton Genty, if he pans out, then that running back pick would be a wasted pick. And so I don't want to do something there when Ashton Genty may work out and then, I've got a running back. You know what it feels like to have a back jam, a log jam at running back because we've had one, off and on for a while now for the last couple of years. They bitch about his knee, yet they brought in a guy coming off knee surgery that missed 10 games because of said surgery. Crazy. Yeah, it was just the deal, Tana. They didn't want to give up the first round picks. That was expensive, but it was Max Crosby, Then they were able to get Trey Hendrickson for a lot less. Max is not great. He is good. And if he was looking out for his career by asking for a trade, he would have sat on the bench when he was injured in meaningless games at the end of every season. Well, Max, welcome. I appreciate your comment. I don't know if I agree with that. I do think he's a great player. I do. But more importantly, I am somewhat concerned about the knee. I know I said everything's fine with the knee, and it is as far as everything that's happened thus far. I don't know that means that knee is going to continue to hold up as it has in seasons prior because he's older than he's ever been. And we're not paying him for what he did before. We're paying him for what he can do now. And so that's why every year you have to evaluate these guys, reevaluate these guys, even if they're stars. Because is that star still giving you what he was giving you as he was being referred to as a star? You know what I mean? I hate to mention Brady's name too, but I guess that can't be helped. Yeah, there's nothing we can do about it. But at the same time, stay out of the newspaper. What are you doing? You know what I mean? What are you doing? Why are you, what are you doing? Let's say he comes back. Why? Now, I know, like, for example, let's get the excuses out of the way, okay? Oh, he misses the winning. Really? You're one of the winningest quarterbacks in history. Oh, okay, well, no, it's the camaraderie of the guys in the locker room. You're a partial owner of one. Walk downstairs. Hang out with the guys. Go out on the practice field with them. Throw a few balls around to the players. Go get the itch out. But then shut up about, I want to play. I want to come back. Why? Because you played well in a flag football game? Do you have any idea how often you embarrass yourself while having no idea, blissfully ignorant of how stupid you look and sound? Listen, Ken doll, go fix your hair. Put on some more of that jam that you use to make your face look younger. Call whoever you're dating because you can't call your wife. She's with a karate instructor now. Everyone is to stop mentioning Tom Brady to me. I can't help but go off on a tangent and rip his throat out verbally when you bring him up. So stop. Put foots in him. Karate instructor. What the hell? He didn't even really take any heat for that. Appreciate the love, Bill Cox. They say that every year Tucker always does great in one game and then he disappears. Arnie Garza, we're same. You know what I mean? He's Malcolm Kuntz as far as I'm concerned now. I'm done. I'm done with Trey Tucker. I've been saying it, but I like the fact that it was an NFL person who said, and I quote, he didn't say maybe. He said Kubiak will unlock Trey Tucker. Now, if that's the truth, we got something. Now, when you think about it, what was that offense that Tom Brady used to run all the time? He always had those tiny little scat backs going all over the place, driving defenses crazy, and he would throw a short one left, throw a short one right, throw a short one left, throw a short one right, bomb! And the defense wouldn't be ready for it because he'd be rocking them to sleep with that back and forth, interior passes, driving the defense crazy, and then they get so pent up and ready to go, and then the ball just flies over their head, and you got a 40-yard out to the post, touchdown. You know what I'm saying? And I want to see it. I want to see it. You know what I mean? Because when people think of the deep ball, they always think of just a guy running a straight line and you throw the ball 60 yards. That's not what it is. Sometimes it's within the first 5 steps of the wide receiver. But it's a go post to the middle. You hit him, you catch everybody off guard, he uses his speed, and he's gone. That, to me, is a deep ball. Kirk Cousins will complete those balls. And by the way, I know everyone knows this, but try to remember, we're not used to the Raiders doing things the right way. And for the first time in a long time, they're doing things the right way. Kubiak has the offense. He is going to unlock that. Now, I don't know if he's going to specifically unlock Trey Tucker, but I am cautiously optimistic that he can do it because I think Trey Tucker has the tools. I just think sometimes he's a little guy. He gets lost in route, recognition sometimes by our quarterbacks because they're under pressure. I think if our offensive line gives Kirk Cousins and then Mendoza time to see the field, they'll be able to look, and then go, okay, I don't want the deep stuff. Brock Bowers is double teamed. Here's Trey Tucker for a little 7-yard out. He gives him a little wiggle. 7-yard out turns into 9 yards. First down. You know what I mean? And so I'd love to see that. I'd love to see that. Arnie Garza said, question, who are you the most concerned about? Miller, JPJ, Crosby, Kuntz after the injury? Well, I want Kuntz off the team. I know they're going to give him a last chance. I don't even want Kuntz on the team. Now, having said that, that's because I think he can't do anything other than hold a ham sandwich. If he wants to go have lunch, let him go eat over there while we get someone that can play football. Please. Okay, now, who am I the most concerned with? I'm the most concerned with Miller because I'm trying to think of what would be the one thing that could really torpedo this thing that we're making right now, and that would be losing our left tackle. If we lose our left tackle again, you're juggling the whole line. Then you have to go into free agency. Then you have to go into your roster and look at your, guys on the, and just, I don't know. I'm kind of over that. You know what I mean? I'm hoping that they bring in enough talent. I like Rodgers, the guy we have on the bench from last year that we picked up, the offensive lineman. I think that he can move in, slide in different slots. And we have a couple other guys, too, that can do that. One guy we brought in over from Seattle. He's real nice. But I'm just praying it's not Miller. Now, instead of picking one, I'll just address them all. I think JPJ is going to be fine because even if he's not necessarily in the position he wants to be in, I think he'll be in the position that he's told to be all season. In other words, there's probably not going to be any more moving guys around. Kubiak's going to figure out where he wants JPJ according to the roster and fit with the people on it at the time. In other words, if we have someone better at that position than him, then he's going to have to move somewhere else. But I think that's why we're not going to move him to center, even though he was a center his whole college career and has some experience at right and left guard and mostly played center. If you can't get him right, it hurts us, but I think we're going to get him right because now we have the center we need. He knows why he's not playing center now. It's not because you're not good. It's not because you're not better than the other guy. It's because you're really, really not better than the other guy. One good hit and the Brady would fold like a broken lawn chair. Thank you. I mean, I know you feel better, okay, TB, but go sell some more facial cream, in the number 12 system. Bob Standard asks, will Tom Brady be our future owner? I'm going to say no. I think that mogul that was in the I thought I had his name right here. I was going to say Ed Egan Dorby of Silver Lake. He's worth $2.5 billion. He is going to get the team. If you held my feet to the fire right now, I would say no. Tom's not going to get the team, and it's going to go to that guy. Almost for sure. I'm like almost 100% sure on that because I'd never heard the NFL talk about having meetings about secession order, and they had meetings about secession order for the Raiders. So the moment you did that, to me, that said it's done. All right, that's my show. Much love. Shout out to our armed forces, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, National Guard, Space Force, for all you do. The energy and love of this show is dedicated to your sacrifice and veterans, active and enlisted and at home, retired. Much love. I know I'm rusty. I'll be better tomorrow, I swear. Remember to like and share. Love you guys. Peace.